Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree sessions in which we cover the relevant and important finance current affairs and the RBI notifications, the RBI press releases. Today I have brought for you a very important current affairs that is regarding the TReDS platform. So the TReDS platform in itself is very important, okay? And you must know that what is TReDS platform, what is factoring, what is reverse factoring. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session. So the TReDS has become the fifth operator of the RBI's TReDS after the RXIL, M1 Exchange, InvoiceMart and C2 Trends. So the TReDS has become the fifth operator of the RBI's TReDS. So what is this TReDS platform and what is this factoring, the reverse factoring? All of the terms we are going to discuss in today's session in depth, so that if any descriptive question, if any objective question comes from this news article, you can easily answer that question, okay? So good morning everyone, welcome to the session. Good to see all of you present in the session, and let's start with this TReDS platform, okay? Before starting with the news article, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap if you have not subscribed till now, to continue getting these relevant videos, and join our Telegram channel. In the Telegram channel of EduTap, you will get the PDF of the session, okay? So in the Telegram channel of EduTap, you will get the PDF, and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So now let's start with the news article. First of all, the supply chain finance platform TReDS has become the fifth platform in the country to join the Reserve Bank of India's TReDS. TReDS is your trade receivables discounting system, okay, that we have to understand. So the TReDS has become the fifth platform in the country to join the Reserve Bank of India's TReDS platform to facilitate the financing of trade receivables of the MSMEs, okay? So before also we had the RXIL, the InvoiceMart, the M1 Exchange, we had this CT Trends or the CF2O. So these four platforms we already had for the TReDS platform, but now the TReDS has also joined and has also launched the TReDS platform, okay? So the company has received, the TReDS has received the final approval from the Reserve Bank of India, from the central bank, to commercially launch its invoice discounting solution. So what is this invoice discounting solution? That we will understand, but the RBI has approved the TReDS to launch the TReDS platform, to launch its own TReDS platform, or to launch the TReDS platform under the brand name of DTX, that is Domestic Trade Exchange on TReDS. So TReDS is going to launch the TReDS platform, its own TReDS platform under the name that is DTX, that is Domestic Trade Exchange, okay? Now before going forward, first we have to understand that what is TReDS. Okay, so RXIL, the InvoiceMart, they are the TReDS platform. But what is TReDS? What is the RBI's TReDS? So first of all, TReDS is the trade receivables discounting system. So in brief, if you try to understand that, let's say I am a small MSME, okay? I am a small MSME and I want to sell the tables that I am producing. So I am selling these tables to a government department. So now the government department is saying that we will pay after 1 month, because the higher authorities have to do the sign, and after the release of the money by the higher authorities, then only we will be able to provide you money. And so this whole process will take the time of at least 1 month. So the government department wants the tables right now, but the government department is saying that we will pay after 1 month. So MSME, if the MSME rejects this deal, so the MSME will lose the customer. But if MSME agrees that okay, we will give you the table and give the money after 1 month, so MSME will get the money after 1 month, but the MSME requires the money right now, because the MSME has to pay to its laborers, the MSME has to pay for the raw material, for its continuous operations, the MSME requires the money. So this is a very hectic situation for the MSME, that the MSME wants to continue the business, but the MSME wants the money right now. So MSME will agree that okay, we will give you the tables and you can pay after 1 month. So this bill invoice will be created, that the MSME has given the tables to the government department, and the 1 lakh of the payment, the 1 lakh rupees will be paid after 1 month. Now this bill invoice that has been generated, now this bill invoice can be sold to a third party, that is any NBFC factor, or let's say to the bank. The MSME is selling this bill invoice at a discounted rate, that the MSME is saying that at least give me 95,000 and take this bill of 1 lakh rupees. So this is the kind of process, okay. So this we will discuss more in details, but I hope you understand that if MSME wants to continue the business with the different buyers and the buyer, if it is not able to give the money right now, so the bill will be created, the bill invoice will be created, that the 1 lakh rupees will be paid after 1 month, or let's say after 3 months, whichever is the time that has been decided. So MSME will go to the TReDS platform and will put its bill invoice, and will get some money, will get the discounted money, okay. So this process we will understand. But TReDS is an electronic platform. So trade receivables discounting system, this is an electronic platform for facilitating the financing or discounting of trade receivables of micro, small and medium enterprises. So trade receivables or account receivables is the money that has to be received by a entity on a later on date, okay. So account receivables or trade receivables represents the money owed to a business by its clients or customers. So let's say rupees 1 lakh that has to be paid after 1 month. So this is the account receivable, this is the trade receivable, okay, that the customer has to pay to the seller. So this is the idea. So TReDS is an electronic platform for facilitating the financing or discounting of trade receivables of MSMEs through multiple financiers. So in the TReDS platform, there are multiple financiers that are present, that are the banks, that are the NBFCs and such. So these receivables can be due from corporates and other buyers, including the government departments and public sector undertakings, okay. So let's understand the process. So this is the process of bill discounting on a TReDS platform. The factoring, we are discussing the factoring process. So the seller has supplied, the product to the buyer. Now the buyer is saying that I will pay after 2 months. The buyer is saying that I will pay after 2 months. So supplier supplies the good or services to the buyer. Buyer is saying that I will pay after 2 months. So supplier is giving a bill to the buyer that okay, after 2 months you will have to pay 10 lakh rupees. Okay, after 2 months you have to pay 10 lakh rupees. Now the supplier logs in and upload the invoice for the receivable. So supplier has logged in to the TReDS platform. Let's say this is the TReDS platform of M1 Exchange, or the supplier can log in into the RXIL or Invoice Smart or even now TReDS. So there are different TReDS platforms that are present. Like you have Amazon, Flipkart, Meesho, you have Myntra. So different different online platforms are present that are providing you services. Similarly, for the TReDS platform also, there are 5 TReDS platform now: M1 Exchange, RXIL, Invoice Smart, C2FO, as well as your TReDS. So these are the 5 TReDS platform that are present now. The TReDS is the newest one. Okay. So supplier supplies the goods or services to the buyer. Supplier logs into any of the TReDS platform and upload the invoice for the receivables. Uploads the invoice for the receivable of the money. Now buyer verifies and approve the invoice. Buyer verifies that yes, this is correct. The invoice is correct. The invoice is of 10 lakh rupees and the payment will be made after 2 months. So yes, the invoice is correct. So buyer verifies. After the verification of the invoice has happened from the buyer's end, then the invoice is converted into factoring unit for bidding. Okay. So factoring unit, this is the nomenclature, this is the standard naming convention that is used in the TReDS platform for an invoice or bill on the system. So when the invoice or bill is accepted in the TReDS platform, then this bill converts into the factoring unit. Factoring unit is just the details of the bill. The bill is of how much money, the payment will be made when, and the buyer is who? What is the account number of buyer? What is the account number of seller? The seller is who? So all these details are shown in the factoring unit. Okay, so factoring unit is a standard nomenclature used in the TReDS for an invoice or a bill on the system. So this invoice is converted into the factoring unit for the bidding. Now the bidding will be done by the financiers. The financiers are seeing that okay, the factoring unit, that is the invoice or the bill, is of rupees 10 lakh. So the bank is saying, let's say bank 1 is saying that against this bill of 10 lakh rupees, we will release the money 9 lakh. Another bank is saying we will release the money 9 lakh 20,000. Another one is saying that we will release 9 lakh 50,000. Okay. So another one is saying that we will release 9 lakh 70,000. And so and so. So there are different banks, there are different NBFCs that are doing the bidding. Now the highest bidding is what? Now which bidding will the seller select? What do you think? That which bidding the seller will select? So these are the 4 bids that the different banks or NBFCs have placed. Now which bid will you select? 9 lakh, 9 lakh 20,000, 9 lakh 50,000 or 9 lakh 70,000. So which bid will you select? Highest bid is 9 lakh 70,000. So this is the bid that you will select. So supplier accepts the most favorable bid, that is against the bill of 10 lakh, the supplier is getting 9 lakh 70,000. So here the supplier is losing 30,000, but at least the supplier is getting 9 lakh 70,000 on the immediate basis. Okay, so supplier requires the money right now and supplier is able to get the money right now. Supplier do not have to wait for 2 months. Okay, so for the bill invoice of 10 lakh, the financier is giving 9.7 lakhs or 9 lakh 70,000. The financier is giving. Now after 2 months, the financier will get back the money from the buyer. The buyer will pay to the financier the 10 lakh rupees. So the financier is making the profit of how much? The financier is making the profit of how much? So financier has given 9 lakh 70,000 to the seller. Financier after 2 months will get 10 lakh. So how much profit the financier is making? 30,000. 30,000 is the profit that the financier is making on this bill. So this is the idea that financier provides the money to the supplier on the immediate basis, and whatever is the discount on which the financier has given the money, so that rest amount is the profit for the financier. Okay, so buyer will pay after 2 months to the financier and 30k is the profit of the financier. Okay, so this is the idea. So M1 generates, so the platform, TReDS platform. So after the bid has been accepted, the supplier has accepted the most favorable bid, that is 9 lakh 70,000. So now M1 or whichever platform you are at, M1, RXIL or the DTX, that is of the TReDS platform. So M1 generates settlement instructions for debiting the financier and crediting the supplier. So first, from the financier account, the money will be transferred to the supplier's account. 9.7 lakh rupees will be converted into the supplier account, and after 2 months, after the time has passed, the M1 generates the settlement instructions for debiting the buyer. Now, after 2 months have passed, from the buyer's account, 10 lakh rupees will be transferred to the financier. So this is the idea, that after the bid is accepted, after the supplier has accepted the bid, the transfer of money will happen from the seller, from the financier to the seller. After 2 months, the transfer of money will happen from the buyer to the financier. Any confusion in this? Anyone? In this is factoring. This is factoring process where the supplier is placing the invoice in the TReDS platform. Any confusion? Now, this is the factoring process that we have discussed, that supplier supplies the goods or services, supplier logs in and uploads the invoice for the receivables of the money, buyer verifies and approves the bill, then the bill is converted into the factoring unit with all the information, with the account details and such. Now the financiers bid against the factoring unit, against the invoice, we can say. So supplier accept the most favorable bid. After that, the settlement happens from the financier to the supplier. the money is passed on. After the time has passed, the buyer pays to the financier. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the whole process. So this is the process of factoring. Now coming to reverse factoring. Let's say that there is a corporate. Now the corporate wants to buy the tables from this MSME. Wants to buy the tables from this particular company, XYZ, let's say. Now the corporate is getting, or the company is getting, the best deal from this MSME, and the corporate do not want to lose the business. Wants the table from this MSME only. So corporate does not have the money right now. The bills will be passed after 2 months. So the corporate is saying that we will be able to pay after 2 months. Now the MSME is saying that we do not have the money and we cannot give you the credit sale. We cannot do the credit sale as we do not have the money. We have to continue our operations. We have to pay to our laborers. So we cannot take the money after 2 months. We need the money right now. So the corporate will say that, okay, the corporate is buying the tables from this MSME, and the corporate is saying that provide the bill invoice. So MSME will provide the bill invoice to the corporate. Now the buyer uploads this bill invoice in the platform, in the TReDS platform. Now here remember that the buyer is uploading the invoice. In the reverse factoring, the buyer uploads the invoice, not the seller. This is the factoring process where the seller is uploading the bill invoice. In the reverse factoring, so this was factoring. In the reverse factoring, the buyer uploads the bill invoice. The buyer is uploading the bill invoice. Now after the approval has, the seller will approve this bill. So after the approval of the bill, the financier will bid for the invoice. After the bidding has happened, the buyer accept the best bid. Again, the best bid will be chosen by the buyer, and the financier disburse the fund to the seller. Now the seller receives the fund within 24 hours. So seller is getting the immediate funds. That I have told you that the seller has said now that we want the immediate money. So the corporate is getting the tables. The corporate is getting the bill invoice and is putting this bill invoice in the TReDS platform. And from this TReDS platform, the money is being given to the seller. The money is being given to the seller. Okay. Now buyer pays the financier on due date, that is after 2 months, let's say. The buyer will pay to the financier and the financier receives the outstanding amount. So this is the whole process, that here the seller is not putting the bill invoice in the TReDS platform. The buyer is putting the bill invoice on the TReDS platform, and the same process will happen, just instead of seller, now the buyer is putting the bill invoice. Any confusion in the reverse factoring? PK, we will come to that question. First of all, reverse factoring, is it clear? Is it clear, the reverse factoring? No, it is not compulsory for the supplier to accept the bid, but it is usually accepted because the bids are usually good. And if you are putting your bill invoice in the TReDS platform, that means you want the money right now. Okay. Okay, so only MSMEs can participate as sellers in TReDS because this TReDS platform is focused on the MSMEs, that MSMEs should get the money that they require and should get the money for their invoices. Corporates, government departments, PSUs, any other entity can participate as the buyer in the TReDS platform, that they are the buyer who are buying from the MSME. Okay, banks, NBFC factors and other financial institutions. So NBFC factors, you can understand that these are the NBFCs that are in the business of factoring or reverse factoring. They are in the business of bill discounting. Okay, this is the bill discounting process that is happening. I hope you know bill discounting, that the MSME or the buyer is giving the bill and this bill is discounted. Let's say the bill is of 10 lakh rupees and the seller is getting 9.5 lakh rupees. That means 0.5, that is 50,000 rupees is going to the financier. Okay, so this is bill discounting, that you have put your bill, you have put your invoice in the platform and you are getting the discounted rate, you are getting the discounted money. Okay, so whatever is the left out amount, whatever is the discounted amount, that goes to the financier. So this is the bill discounting process. Okay, so the bill discounting can be done by the banks or it can be done by the NBFC factors and other financial institutions as permitted by the Reserve Bank of India can participate. So these entities can participate as financiers in the TReDS platform. Authorization is required. Now, if you want to operate as a TReDS platform, like the TReDS wanted to operate as a TReDS platform, so they had to take the permission from the Reserve Bank of India. So any entity which wants to perform as a TReDS platform have to take the permission from the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so authorization is required to be obtained from RBI to set up and operate a TReDS platform under the Payment and Settlement System Act of 2007. So this is the whole process. First of all, the bill invoice is converted into the factoring unit, that is the standard nomenclature for the details on the bill. Okay, so first creation of factoring unit will happen, that is standard nomenclature in the TReDS platform for invoices or bills. Acceptance of the factoring unit by the counterparty, that is the buyer or seller, whoever is the counterparty. So in case the reverse factoring is happening and the buyer has placed the bill invoice, in the TReDS platform, the seller will accept it. Or in the case of factoring, if the seller has placed the bill invoice, the buyer will accept it. So acceptance of the factoring unit by the counterparty. Then bidding by financiers will happen. Financiers will bid. The best bid will be selected by the seller or buyer, whoever is in the process. So selection of the best bid by the seller or buyer, as the case may be. Payment made by the financier. So financier will make the payment to the seller, and after the timeline has been finished, the buyer will have to pay to the financier. Payment by the buyer to the financier on the due date. So this is the whole process that we have discussed. Okay, now there are the insurance companies that are permitted as the fourth participant in the TReDS platform. So in the TReDS platform, the three participants are the seller, that is the MSME, the buyer, that is the corporates or the government departments, whoever is buying. Then there is the financiers, that is the banks and NBFCs. They are the third participant. Now the fourth participant in 2023, there was the fourth participant that was introduced in the TReDS platform, that was the insurance companies. Because the banks or NBFCs, they are financing the bills. Now what if the buyer defaults? The buyer, after 2 months, the buyer says that I don't have money, I cannot pay to you. So the banks and NBFCs will make the losses. They will be under financial stress. So it was said that the insurance companies, they can also participate in the TReDS platform to secure the financiers. So if financiers believe that there is risk involved, if the financiers believe that there is risk. Now if the government departments are buying something from MSME, the government departments will not default. Okay, even if they are paying late, they will pay, still they will pay. So usually the big corporates or usually the government departments, they don't default. But if the financier feel that there is some risk, that risk can be covered through the insurance companies. Okay, so this is the whole idea, that in the TReDS platform, before there were the sellers, that is MSMEs, buyers, that is the corporates, government departments, PSUs and such. There was the financiers, banks and NBFCs and such. Now the fourth participant, that is the insurance company, were also introduced in the TReDS platform to insure the financiers. Okay, so financiers will have to pay some premium, and in case the default actually happens, the insurance company will cover the default. If the default does not happen, then the coverage will not be provided. Okay, like you have the health insurance now. If you fall sick, then you get the coverage. But if you are not falling sick, but still you have to give the premiums. So similar is the idea with the financiers. Financiers will have to pay the premium to the insurance company. In case the default happens, then the insurance company will cover the default. So this is the idea. Okay, so insurance companies are permitted as the fourth participant in the TReDS platform. So this was announced in 2023. So here guidelines on TReDS. were issued in December 2014. This was updated in 2018. The TReDS guidelines were updated in 2018 by the RBI. Then in 2023, there was further expansion of TReDS platform that happened with the objective of, so TReDS platform was issued in December 2014 with the objective of facilitating the financing of the trade receivables of MSMEs. So to provide the easy access of money to the MSMEs, there was the introduction of TReDS platform, or there was the introduction of the TReDS. Okay. Subsequently, 3 entities started operating TReDS platform and 2 more entities have been granted in principal authorization. These entities process about 60,000 crore worth of transactions annually. So you can understand that in 2023, this was announced that okay, the TReDS platform, it has it is processing a lot of payments. Now it was said that there is further need to expand the TReDS platform and their scope. So insurance companies or insurance facility was permitted on the TReDS platform, so that the insurance companies, they can become the 4th participant on the TReDS platform to cover up the default of the buyers. So that to cover up or to provide the coverage to the financiers. Okay, so this was the idea. To provide the coverage to the financiers or to protect the financiers, there was the insurance companies that were introduced in the TReDS platform. All entities, institutions eligible to undertake factoring business under Factoring Regulation Act were permitted to participate as financiers in the TReDS platform. So all the banks, the NBFC factors, so all of them that are allowed to undertake the factoring business, they were allowed in the TReDS platform. Secondary market operations will now be enabled on the TReDS platform also. So that is, let's say financiers have the bills worth of 10 crores. So there are different bills that a financier has. A bank has, let's say, or the NBFC has different bills worth in total 10 crores and they will be cleared after 2 months. Now these bills can be converted into the investment product, so that the investors can invest in this bill. Okay, so this is the idea, that the secondary market operations will now be enabled on the TReDS platform, where the financiers they can sell their bills further, or they can get the rediscount of the bills. Okay, so this would allow the financiers to offload their existing bills to other financiers within the same TReDS platform if required. So this was the idea, that the bills that a financier has, they can sell these bills to the another financiers in the same TReDS platform. Okay, so this was the idea. So this was the introduction in 2023. Now RXIL operates as the TReDS platform, and this is one of the oldest of the TReDS platform. So RXIL is the first entity to receive the approval from RBI on December 1, 2016 to launch India's first TReDS platform. So this is the idea. Any confusion here? Any confusion anyone has? So now in total we have 5 TReDS platform. RXIL, okay, there is 5 TReDS platform: RXIL, M1 Exchange, InvoiceMart, TReDS and C2FO. Okay, so TReDS, that is TTX, we can say, has become the TReDS platform. Okay, so this has recently become the TReDS platform, and the question is regarding this only. So the RBI has approved Dash to become the 5th platform in the country regarding the TReDS platform. So that is TReDS. In principle, that is for the time being. For the time being, the authorization was provided. In principle means just for working for the time being. Okay. Clear? Okay. Now before moving ahead with another question, so there is another question, but before moving ahead with that, let me show you that if you go to EduTap, if you go to edutap.in, you can go to the EduTap's website, where if you want to know about a particular examination, you can go to the free material, you can go to the blog section, and in the blogs at the end of the page, you can see that there is exam information, job profile, and the different information about the exam is provided for you. So if you want to get the information about any of the examination, you can get the exam information. Okay, for NABARD, for RBI, if you want to get information about the examination, you can get the detailed information in the written form. If you want to know about the strategy for the different components, you can know about the strategy also for government schemes, for the current affairs and such. And if you want to read the success stories and the strategies that the toppers adopted, you can even read the strategies. Okay, so this is the complete idea. Now if you want to see the courses, you can also see the courses, like going to the main page, you can also see the courses if you want to buy any course. Okay, for RBI, for NPS, for NABARD, for any examination, if you want to see the courses, so you can see the courses, the discount that is available, as well as the price, what all you will be getting, who all will be teaching. So all of this you can see here. Okay, so this is the idea. Now this is the first question. This is very easy question, and such direct question can come in the examination. Now this is the second question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question also. So this is the second question where you have to tell the correct statement. Okay, so this is it. Now we have, like, the TReDS has become the fifth TReDS platform, and the TReDS will operate its TReDS platform with the name of DTX. Okay, so this is the idea. Any confusion anyone has? So this is it from my side. Thank you everyone. If you have any further queries, you can comment down below. Okay, so do comment down below if you have any query, as well as do give me the right answer of the homework questions. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining.